Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Oh man, I almost made it. I've tried to record this intro like 5 times and I just can't keep a straight face. This is the worst call of the decade from a really top-rated analyst. I'm just going to roll with it. I can't be bothered trying that for the 6th time. It's not worth it. So in this video, this is so hard. We're going to be discussing a call from a top-ranked stock analyst who's been very bullish on Tesla for the record, who's made a career-destroyingly bad call on an electric vehicle stock. And I use the word electric vehicle stock rather loosely. I'm also going to focus on some very strange comments from Cramer, who seems to be missing a little bit of grey matter when it comes to assessing some of the potential in legacy automotive manufacturers to pull through and survive this decade, let alone thrive. I don't know what's going on today. 2 of the worst calls I've heard publicly made about the automotive industry and electric vehicles in particular, all happening around the same time. So with that said, let's get into the video. If you love crypto, stocks and free stuff, or just want to help out the channel, check out these great offers. BlockFi are launching the world's first Bitcoin rewards credit card. People in the US can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase with no annual fee using the BlockFi Bitcoin rewards credit card. Check out the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can get up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, where you can use cryptocurrency to earn interest, borrow cash, and buy or sell crypto. If you want your free crypto, use the link in the description. And if you'd like up to 2 free stocks, check out the link in the description to WeBull. If you open a new account, you'll get 1 free stock valued up to $300 just for opening an account. And if you make an initial deposit of $5 or more, you'll get a second free stock valued up to $2,000. Seriously. Free stocks? Yes, please. And finally, if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also linked in the description. Thanks so much for your support, guys. Let's get back to it.
GM. You're seeing GM move, and you're probably wondering, well, what happened? Is there any news? Well, Dan Ives, who's all over the place. Remember, he did emphasize that at 116 you should buy Apple. Nice call. He says there's going to be a re-rating of GM because they're investing $35 billion in R&D for electric vehicles, and the piece is called "A Renaissance of EV Growth in Detroit." I say renaissance because in honor of Will Frost.
But this stock has had quite a move, in part on the strength of EV, or at least the belief, as Mary Barra has pivoted.
You're saying it might be a late call? That's what
I'm not saying that, but I mean, that's pretty darn.
I was going over
has GM ever seen a year like that?
I don't even know where to start with this one. You know what? Let's head over to tipranks.com to look at Dan Ives' profile in terms of his picks on stocks over the last year or two, ascertain the kind of stocks he's covering, the kind of calls he's making, and try to determine how credible he is overall. Okay, here we are over on tipranks.com checking out Dan Ives' profile. As you can see, he's got a stunning 5-star rating, one of the top ranked, and wait, those are empty. Oh wait, that's the wrong profile. Oh no, that's, yeah, sorry. Spoiler alert, if Dan Ives continues to make calls like he's just made on General Motors, this is what his profile is going to look like in a year's time. By the way, shout out to my favorite Tesla analyst, the class clown, Gordon Genius Johnson, killing it as always. Alright, that's better. Dan Ives ranked number 34 out of 7,592 analysts on tipranks.com. Average return over 36%, success rate 76%. Basically good calls on about 3/4 of the calls overall. Over a 1-year period, let's check out the last 2 years. Even better. Great stuff. Now, you guys have probably heard me talk in the past about Dan Ives. The guy confuses me. He sometimes says the right stuff about the right companies, and other times makes completely baffling statements which make me wonder whether or not he actually knows what the fuck's going on, or he's just being spoon-fed what to talk about and what to say about certain companies by his research team at Wedbush. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but Dan Ives has always been a little bit hit and miss for me. That being said, he still seems to have the credibility, right? Very high-ranked analyst. Let's have a look at what he's had to say about Tesla, just to give you guys some context. 11% success rate on the stock. An average profit on the stock of minus 10%. Geez, that's a bit troubling, isn't it? Looks like Dan Ives has made some pretty ordinary calls on Tesla stock, but there's been other calls on other stocks that have compensated. You'll note that in 2018 and early 2019, Dan Ives was suggesting that people buy Tesla stock. Fairly good call. However, when Tesla stock began climbing and climbing and climbing, Dan Ives suddenly flipped to just holding the stock. And by the way, for the record, guys, I started my YouTube channel around here, and I never give investment advice, but I certainly do open the door of possibility of, you know what, this is what I personally think. See if you think the same thing, and then maybe you might act accordingly if you draw the same conclusions. I was buying Tesla stock this entire time. Dan Ives was telling everybody just to hold. Obviously, if people had been buying at that time, they would have done a lot better than just holding the stock. And now suddenly, just after Tesla stock comes back from a recent peak, Dan Ives is again recommending buy. Maybe the impression I get here is that Dan Ives was a little bit late to the party. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So, seems like a pretty poor call on Tesla overall. That being said, Dan Ives does tend to say the right things about Tesla when he's being interviewed in the mainstream finance media, aka the fake news. Let's see, Microsoft. Great success rate on that stock, basically buy. Pretty hard to fuck that one up. Let's see his calls on Apple stock. Basically buy the entire time. Again, it's pretty hard to fuck that one up. Now, let's look at his calls on Nikola stock. You know, this is a career-endingly bad call as well. Hold Nikola stock. I mean, dude, are you serious? So, Dan Ives' history of calls on Nikola stock initially, suggesting investors hold the stock. Now, I actually remember Dan in the media talking about this. This was after Trevor Meltdown Milton, the DOJ investigation, the SEC investigation, the fraud allegations, blah, blah, blah. I was scratching my head. How can this guy possibly be recommending investors hold this stock? It is a train wreck happening in slow motion. Then he begins to suggest investors sell. Probably smart, but a little bit late. And then again, flips to hold. Now, Dan, I do not know how high you are, but recommending at any point in time that investors do anything but get the fuck out of Nikola stock to me seems like an incredibly bad call. Of course, we'll just have to see how things play out. But personally, I think this company is imminently headed to bankruptcy. And now we have Dan Ives' call on General Motors, a buy rating after the stock has put on 150% in a year. And I want to be really clear here. The reason that this is such an incredibly dumb call, bordering on career-endingly bad, is because GM stock shouldn't have done anything over the last year. But there's so many dumb investors out in the stock market who have no idea what they're doing, in la-la land, full of wishful thinking, hopeful, deluded that GM are somehow going to survive the decade. They're not. This is something that I've discussed in detail in a recent video, how Tesla killed General Motors. And there seems to be quite a bit of interest in this video. I think a lot of people are starting to understand that GM are literally fucked. However, Dan Ives, no idea. This call is not going to age well for Dan, I'm telling you guys now. You know what? Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on Dan late to the party Ives. Maybe he's got 169 IQ. And the way that he's making this recommendation isn't because General Motors intrinsically has a potential future, because they don't. Maybe instead, he's realizing that the collective incompetence out there in the stock market, the number of brain-dead retail investors out there willing to throw money at a company just because they tell us that they're going all in on EVs. Despite the fact that they don't really have any meaningful technology, they have absolutely garbage leadership, they've got the C and D grade engineers at best, they have no evidence of actually being able to manufacture great high-quality electric vehicles at scale, they have no software competence whatsoever, they have no innovation in terms of manufacturing, they've got nothing going for them whatsoever. Maybe instead, Dan Ives is thinking, well, you know what? There's enough dumb investors out there that they're going to keep buying these stocks until these companies go bankrupt. And you know what? He may actually be right. Over the short term, over the next 12-month period, Dan Ives could absolutely slay it. GM could go up another 100%. I don't know what's going to happen over the short term. I do have confidence over the long term that GM will be out of business before the decade is ended, or at the very least, they'll have merged or been acquired for pennies on the dollar. So look, maybe if this is the approach Dan Ives is taking when making this recommendation for General Motors stock, it's not the company itself has got a bright future, but there's a lot of dumb investors out there who might think they do. Maybe this is a reasonable call. So let's read a little bit more about what Dan Ives had to say in terms of this GM call. General Motors is headed for a renaissance of growth in electric vehicles, according to this tech analyst. Oh boy. Who initiated coverage of the stock, giving the shares a target price implying that they could rise 50%. Dan Ives of Wedbush, who is also bullish on Tesla, said late Thursday that CEO Mary Barra has led the group back to the top of the US car industry. Hey, just going to jump in here. Is this a good time to mention the equity partnership and the deal with Nikola Motor Corporation? Shout out to the Department of Justice investigation, the SEC investigation, the fraud allegations, the tacit admission of fraud, misleading, deceiving investors. Is this a good time to mention that? Good leadership. Yeah, right. Good thing that was only a one-off mistake. Oh, wait, it wasn't, because then there was also the partnership with Fraudstown Motors. Yep, great leadership there. Good point, Dan. Yep, Mary Barra's doing a great job at the top of GM. Talk about a leader, leading them to imminent bankruptcy, leading them towards an iceberg. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. Quote, going forward, GM continues to be a re-rating story as the street treats the Detroit automaker no longer as a traditional auto company trading based on book value, but a broader disruptive technology play. What the fuck, Dan? Oh, f*** me. Okay, is this real life? We're talking about General Motors. Disruptive technology play. General fucking Motors. Dan, I'm sorry to say this, dude, but just quit while you're ahead, man. Give up. Go out while you're on top. You got a great ranking at the moment. This is literally going to end your career, this call. Can someone who knows Dan just tell him just like, seriously, let's think about retirement right now? I'm not trying to be a douche lord, okay, but like, I don't know what else to say. But a broader disruptive technology play that can start to trade at multiples similar to the likes of Tesla and other pure play electric vehicle companies as GM executes on its vision, Ives said, as he initiated coverage of the stock, rating it to outperform. With at least 20 new models of electric vehicles coming out within the next 2 years and 30 in the next 3, 2021 serves as an inflection point for the legacy auto company as they are completely shifting focus towards an electric future, the analyst said. Ives gave GM stock a target price of $85, with shares trading around $56. That suggests the stock has legs to climb 50% higher. Well, I thought Dan Ives' rationale may have been there's a lot of morons out there, therefore the stock may continue to climb. But based on what he's talking about here, a disruptive technology play, GM executing on their vision, I'm sorry to say, Dan, but you have lost your fucking mind.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, I think it's a late call. And
you do?
Yes, I do. And I like Tesla here. I think it's come down enough. I'd rather be in Tesla.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tesla's come down enough. I'm not just saying that because Randy Gerber's looking at me right now.
You like Tesla more than GM, but Ford is still your favorite.
Ford is number one.
Wait, what? Is this real life? First Dan Ives with the worst call of the decade, and now Jim Cramer is implying that Ford stock is his number one pick, a better buy than Tesla stock? What is going on? Jim, please, I'd love to hear your rationale for why you think Ford stock is number one.
Because it's almost impossible to get. I am getting a Ford Maverick, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at it. I'm hearing delivery time 2022.
Well, Teslas are also not showing up quite when they said they would either.
No.
I know some friends who are still waiting.
But Tesla's ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm following Jim's logic here, he's ordered or reserved a new model of vehicle that's being produced or will be produced in the future from Ford, either a hybrid or fully electric model. He didn't specify exactly which one. And that is his sole data point. The assumption there is because he has to wait at least, we'll call it 5, maybe even 6 months or more before he actually gets his vehicle delivered. That means that Ford's a better buy than Tesla stock. Why? Does that imply that there's insane demand for this vehicle? Or maybe that Ford doesn't have a lot of experience ramping up production of electric vehicles. He can't be serious. Now, as far as I'm aware, Jim Cramer can't personally invest in stocks anymore, but he does have a charitable foundation that has a very large position in Ford stock. Now, the question I ask, is Jim Cramer really purchasing this vehicle because he thinks it's the best option and also really recommending Ford stock because he thinks that it's got a great future, saying Ford stock is number one over Tesla stock? Or is it possible there may be an ulterior motive there? I don't know for sure, but this seems like a very shaky and fragile way to be making your investment decisions. One data point, he's ordered a vehicle and he has to wait a little while, and therefore Ford's a better stock to buy than Tesla. Dude, what on earth is going on here? Jim Cramer and Dan Ives have both lost their fucking minds. Or maybe I'm the one who's lost my mind, but I am willing to make a public bet and I would love you guys to keep me accountable. I think that in 10 years' time, Tesla stock will have absolutely crushed the performance of Ford stock and General Motors stock. And even more than that, I suspect that there's a very high chance that neither Ford or General Motors will even be in business in a decade's time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Tesla stock will outperform Ford stock and GM over the next decade? Or am I losing my mind? I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget the BlockFi Bitcoin Rewards credit card where you can earn 1.5% Bitcoin back on every purchase. There's a link in the description. You can also earn up to $250 in crypto bonuses when funding a new account on BlockFi, also linked below. And finally, don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and Stake, also linked in the description. These great offers also help out the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.